Welcome back, everybody, to the Grizoo. My name is Grizgoat, and it's good to see everybody back for episode 20, I believe. We have finished our Africa interior, and now we are moving on to the Asian side of our zoo, which is the left side. So if you haven't been following the series, please like and subscribe. Go back and watch all of our other videos because we went kind of up the center with our South American animals, then we went to the right with our African animals, and now we're starting off here on the left side of our zoo with our Asian area. Today we're starting off with a Asian temple-y ruin kind of exhibit, I guess you could say. It's kind of based on like an aviary type exhibit, so it's going to have a lot of mesh enclosures. And let me just say, this has been one of the longest exhibits to build. I think it's taken me around 8 hours. I have at least 8 hours of footage. Sometimes I stop and like go do stuff and leave the game on, but for the most part, it's been an 8-hour build, maybe even more. It took most of these things I can build in one session. This one took 3 sessions, so much longer than what I usually build. But the end result is very unique, one of a kind. You can't really replicate it. So here we are putting in the mesh. Yeah, it took me a long time. It's one of those things where casual players definitely wouldn't do this. So I think I have elevated myself from just a casual planetzoo player to now a serious planetzoo player. And thank you all for being here once again. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers. Every time I see a comment of somebody that I recognize, I always get excited because it's just nice to know that people have stuck with me. You know? Sometimes I think back, I've made several hours of content at this point. And some of you have watched the whole series through, and it's kind of crazy that we've spent several hours together. Just you and me. I mean, it's weird to think about, but it's kind of nice. So here you can see we're building the whole structure. I made it out of this kind of like, I believe this is from the Arctic pack. It's just kind of like a rustic looking wood. And if you can take anything from this, it's use the same angle and the same length, because I just kind of winged it, and I think that was my downfall in this build, is that I kind of angled things differently and didn't plan very well. So I had to do a lot of kind of improvisational mesh angles and I don't even know, just patchwork mesh, which in the end lends itself to kind of the rustic feel we're going for. You know, this exhibit has probably been here for years and years and years. You can see in the bottom corner our zoo is 113 years old, I think is what that says. So this exhibit could, I guess it's new right now, but in theory you could say this exhibit has been here for a long time. And that's why it looks the way it does with all the patchwork mesh. At least that's what I tell myself to sleep at night. So yeah, we're adding supports for our big beams, just these triangle shapes. Again, come back to haunt me, but I think the end product looks really nice. And so the concept behind this is I saw that the Proboscis Monkeys have a dive feature. I like that they're very like primitive looking monkey. So I picture them very like an ancient Asian animal, I guess you could say. So this exhibit, if I haven't already said, is going to be our Proboscis monkey and the Binturong. So both have like a very primitive quality, if that makes sense. If the Binturong might not make sense in that way, but like prehensile tail and something that's not a monkey is very unique, and it just kind of seems like ancient animals kind of have that thing. And the Proboscis monkey with the weird nose, they just seem very old-fashioned Asian animal, I guess. That's probably not a great description, but in my mind, that's what makes sense. So that's why we're putting them in kind of this like rickety old aviary. And yeah, the part that took the longest was just putting in the mesh. It took, 3 sessions. I did 1 session of building everything, all the frame and everything, in this bottom layer of mesh. And then I just couldn't take it any longer. So then I stopped. I picked it back up. I did another layer of mesh. And then I went on Twitch. So if you haven't joined my Twitch, go follow me on there for more mesh building chill streams. Because yeah, we were all just in there just chilling, building with mesh. You get to see a lot of the behind the scenes and kind of funny outtakes that I don't include in the speed builds. So go over to Twitch. We have fun there. Sometimes you also see animals die, which is incredibly sad, and our next video is very, very, very sad. Our next video is cool. I shouldn't say it's just sad, but yeah, there is a heartbreaking moment with a beautiful animal who gets his life ended way too early. So yeah, there is the main structure completed. And now we just have to put our divider in. The Proboscis gets the bigger area and the Binturongs get the smaller area. I was very excited to see that both areas could, we could fit 2 animals in this area. And with mesh, I don't want to discourage anyone from trying it out. You definitely can get into a rhythm. Just turn on some good music and just, just go at it, because it definitely takes some time and is kind of mind-numbing at times. But you'll see by the end, it looked great. But I'm not sure if you'll see me doing much mesh in the future. Maybe if Frontier actually decides to add some more birds, maybe we'll do something like that. Eventually I want to get the cassowary. I think it's a name, right? In here. And here's our male proboscis. So the males have the much longer schnoz than the females. So there he is in all his glory. Very interesting looking. Now Now we're just gonna add our barrier, make sure that everything is covered up and that they can't not escape, and nothing's poking out. Then of course, the proboscis can dive, so I wanted to add a pretty deep pool for them. It might not be deep enough for them to get the whole dive feature, so I might have to go back and make it a little deeper. But you'll see here in a minute, they love it. I just think that is that's the funniest thing you could see, is a proboscis monkey swimming. They just look like someone you know. And that to me is hilarious. And now here the female decides to get in the pool, and then the male decides to get in there, right in there with her. They're swimming around, diving. And then this view is what it's all for, baby. Yeah, that's what it's all for. We love our swimming proboscises. So now we're just gonna go ahead and add in all of our vegetation. We're gonna do a lot of climbing work, just to kind of hopefully keep them above the ground, since it is very like hill terrain heavy. We'll kind of want to keep them up, like the sight line of them up, I guess, kind of moving from tree to tree through vines. Here we are adding some of the vines. I'm just kind of off some of the wood, making sure that they can reach every part. I don't know if I explained, there is that like little Chinese temple thing that I built is kind of an enrichment area, so they can climb up there. I think there's a wind chime kind of thing, a bed and stuff, so they can go up there and interact with the guests who are relatively close to them. So I really like that feature. So I had to include some climbing up to there and raise the ground up so that they can kind of hang out in there. So there I am, adding a scrouch post and that wind chime thing. And there we can see that they can climb up there okay. They can walk around, which is good. And yeah, everything worked out. You can see that she's about to use, actually she's just kind of sniffing the scratching post, so I don't know what that's about, but yeah, the pathway is right there, so the guests will be able to see them real easily. And yeah, I really like that addition. And then right below that area there is like a more kind of sheltered little bedding area for more privacy and stuff. So now we have to change out this willow tree because it is too large. Unfortunately, I did not see that it was that big when I first chose it, so we just have to make sure we find something smaller and reattach it to that vine, basically. Now we're going to add more vines from the palm tree to that tree to another beam to everything else. Like I said, just to hopefully keep them and encourage them to climb around in the trees and the vines and stuff so that the guests look up rather than trying to look down. And adding more enrichment in some of the harder to view areas. There for a second, I was looking at the baby gorilla, which is something you could have seen if you were in my Twitch stream, so go follow that once again. And also, I don't plug it enough because I don't care that much, but I do include links to buy planetzoo in the description. So if you haven't bought it yet, or if you're missing expansion packs, the link in the description. Instant Gaming, great website for buying Steam, getting the Steam code. Awesome discounts. I bought the tropical pack through there. So if you're looking to get any of the expansion packs, that's a perfect place to get it. Helps support me. I've made $3 whole off that. And every time I see 10 cents go in there, I get so excited. So if you buy a game, you might give me 10 cents, and I will get so excited. And then I started thinking about quitting my job and how I'm going to be the best YouTuber that's ever lived. So yeah, go to Instant Gaming, use my code down there. And yeah, hopefully you can score a nice discount on one of the expansion packs or the game if you haven't bought the game already. So yeah, here's the Binturongs. I know I've been rambling, but we're gonna set them up nice. They're such a strange animal. I've never heard of a Binturong until this game. But I really want to see one in person. They're like a crazier raccoon, kinda. Yeah, you can tell it's the end of the video when I start getting a little crazy. But yeah, Binturongs, cool. It might be one of my top 5 animals that I want to see ever. So here's the final product. We got the little temple roof right there. We got our Binturongs on this side. Climbing structures, everything. And then we got our Proboscis Monkeys on the other side. Good amount of climbing for those guys. I love this enclosure, the dual enclosure thing we got going on here. I think it looks great. Yes, it was a pain in my butt, but it was worth it for this guy, honestly. I think they're really fun. The Binturongs are cool, so like 2 nice climbing things. It kind of, also with the pathway, we raised that up, so it did bring some more elevation to our zoo, which we haven't really experimented with. We didn't really do any raised path in the African area, so it was fun to kind of get to do that over here. So, like and subscribe, as always, if you made it through the video. Yeah, you know I love you. And I will see you next time. We have a video coming out soon. Surprisingly enough, I actually got ahead of myself. Goodbye.